Can't be pregnant because like I had the best birth control out there, you know. Guy got me. I never got pregnant yet.
My name is Jessica and this handsome man is Roman. And I'm going to do a story time of basically just how I got pregnant and how life is being a mom, being like a young mom. So the time is around like March of 2020. Like Corona had just got like big where I was, and I was living on campus, so they ended up like shutting the campus down, allowing people to go home and then move back home to save a little bit of money. And you know, school's about to end, so I'm taking my finals and stuff. I'm done with all my finals, so I'm just ready to like let loose, have fun, and enjoy my summer. I'm just doing things that a normal 19-year-old would be doing, you know, enjoying my summer, having fun. My cycle usually comes on around the end of the month, so my last cycle was April 27th. Being that I was working a lot. My friends and stuff, like our cycles would just end up like linking up together, and so everybody's cycle started to come on and mine wasn't coming on. So I kind of just thought it was just like stress from like being back home and just like not having as much freedom as I had when I was living on my own. So I'm just like chopping everything up to that. And my friends like make little jokes like, oh, what if you're pregnant? And I was just like, no, can't be pregnant because like I have the best birth control out there, you know. God got me. I never got pregnant yet. So I never got pregnant yet. I really didn't think I was gonna get pregnant. So I had told them, it was like towards the end of the week, and I had told them, okay, like if my cycle doesn't come on Tuesday, I'll just go and get a pregnancy test, whatever, no big deal. So I go to the dollar store, I get a pregnancy test, and I end up getting the pregnancy test that came with like the two pregnancy tests inside. So I ended up taking the first pregnancy test, nervous and stuff. So I waited, like I set my timer for 5 minutes, and I just was walking back and forth, just like, oh my gosh, like what if? So I only let 4 minutes go by, and I'm so nervous. So I go in the room, I peek at it, and sure enough, I see the two lines, and I'm like, what the, like how, like, oh my gosh, no, not me. Like everything just was going through my mind. Like I'm still in school, I'm not done with school yet, I can't have no baby. Like I'm like, really? Like, no.
So I really already know who it is. So I end up going, like, I call him, and I'm like, hey, could you come over right now? Like, I don't want to say anything on the phone, because I'm just like, I'm a wreck right now. So he's like, yeah, I'll come over. Let me shower first, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I hang up on him.
And I end up calling my sister. And that's when all my emotions just came out. When I called my sister, I was just like, okay, what I'm gonna do, like, I'm not done with school. Daddy's gonna be like so disappointed, mad, everything. She's like, okay, why you just don't take the other test? So I take the other test, and I stay on the phone with her. I take the other test, and when the two lines came back on the second test, I'm like, my life is over. I was just being so dramatic, like, when I found out I was pregnant. Just because, like, I really didn't think that I would get pregnant, like, at all. Like, it's such a shock to me that I got pregnant. I was like, no, I got God. Like, no. So he finally comes over. I end up having a conversation with him about everything, and that kind of went somewhat smooth. The last person to actually find out was my dad, and when I told him, he had already knew, which was like weird. Like he was basically waiting on me to tell him that I was pregnant, and I was just like, if you got black parents and you already know, like, they be knowing. You're really not about to get no sleep. I was sleeping a lot towards the end of my pregnancy, and so I'm like, okay, I'm good, and I'm thinking I could survive off just like maybe 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep here and there, like cat naps in between. With my baby, he didn't want to sleep in his bassinet, so he ended up sleeping with me, and he just doing a lot of moving, and just me being nervous, like I don't want to squish him. It didn't being so scared of SIDS. I didn't want him to sleep with me because I was so very, very scared of SIDS, but I wasn't getting any sleep, and I was just so freaking tired, so he ended up sleeping with me. Another thing is, when you have your baby, you are really going to see, like, who messes with you and who don't mess with you, like, friends and family. Like, it's going to be a big eye-opener for you, like, who helps and who's there for you to talk. It's like seeing my son's face. Like, when my son first came out, he looked just like me. Like, could nobody tell me nothing. Like, my baby was my baby, my twin. The older he got, the more he looks like his dad, but I still see me. You just get somebody who loves you unconditional. Like, when you're not feeling it, just looking at their face, it just makes my day better. Like, just him being here makes everything worth it for me.